All right. I'm back and I got something to say. So, I'm going to basically, as you can see off the title, going to talk about the Silent Hill 2 remake release trailer. Yes, that is what we will be discussing today. Us as fans, we don't deserve a remake. I don't think we do. No. You might think I'm being hyperbolic here, but just hear me out for a second before you dislike the video and think that I don't know what I'm talking about. There was so many complaints going on because Bloober Team took the reins to create this game, which is classic. It's an iconic game from an iconic franchise that, quite frankly, we haven't seen much of over the last couple of years. And to undertake a remaking of this caliber was something that should not be taken lightly. No, no, no. It shouldn't. And Konami entrusted Bloober Team to take over. Now, that automatically became like a scarlet letter. People hated it. They hated the idea of the original Team Silent not having any involvement in this. And as a result, they thought the game was going to be woke. It's going to be trash because it's made for a modern audience, right? And I made a video about this previously saying that I think the game is going to be good. And one thing that I found about the fans and people in general, this could be a life lesson too, is to not be so reactionary constantly. People are just reactionary by nature, right? The game hasn't even come out and you're already making an assumption that it's going to be this horrible piece of like woke garbage, right? Those are the words that a lot of you would colloquially utilize to describe something that you don't think is going to be good. And Bloober Team's just like, hey guys, just check the game out before you come with your preconceived notions of stuff you have no idea about because you're not involved in the development, you're not creating the video game yourself, you have no idea what's actually happening. You read a few articles, you see a couple of people involved, and you automatically make an assumption. Now, everybody knows when you make an assumption, you make an ass out of yourself. You make an ass out of you and me. And Bloober Team, somewhere in the back of their minds, they have to be like, yo, we're creating as faithful of a game as we possibly can, and the fans are crapping on us so bad. Why is this the case? That's why they had to plead their case, if you really think about it. Now that this release trailer came out, suddenly everyone's tune has changed. No longer are they with pitchforks and fire sticks. Now, suddenly there's praise because, oh, look, they are actually going to have similar story beats. They're not just going to change everything willy-nilly. Yeah, we don't deserve this. We don't. Because you were ready to crucify this game before ever giving it an opportunity to come out. And I think that really sucks, man, because think of it like this, right? When the Resident Evil 2 remake came out, people were they weren't going as ham as they did with Silent Hill, to be quite frank, but they still were doing it nonetheless. And because Resident Evil 2 decided to not use fixed camera angles, people were automatically going to think that it's going to be garbage. But it ended up being great, and it's now considered the definitive way of playing Resident Evil 2. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be the case with Silent Hill because we haven't played it, so it's actually not a proven game. I myself cannot make an assumption and say that it's going to be this great masterpiece that's going to not replace the original, because let's face it, the original one is always there to play. You know, if you have a PS2 version of it, or if you are intelligent enough to download it off of the internet with like the enhanced version, then you can play it. You know, it's not something that's insurmountable to play. Hopefully, Konami will one day realize that, hey, we should preserve all these games properly and, you know, have it so that other people can enjoy them. But you guys got to realize something. This game's success is pivotal to whether or not we are going to get more remakes, more Silent Hill games. If this game fails, Konami might just be like, hey, man, you know, let's just not deal with this anymore. So I implore you to give it a chance. You don't have to buy it. Heck, we live in the day and age where we can just see everything on the internet. If you don't want to buy the game, that's fine. You can watch a Let's Play. Let's face it, like day one, there's going to be people that completed it already. There will be a speed running route to dictate how fast it is to actually beat the game with all the items, no damage, pacifist mode, all that stuff I spoke about in my last video. People are still going to play it. You, audience, are still going to play it. And I think you should give it an opportunity, because the last video I made about this, I got crapped on so badly. I've never had so much hate in one single video before. Now, there were a lot of people that agreed with me and those that didn't, and that's okay. because as a content creator, you can't always assume that everyone is just going to like what you do. You're going to have haters, and that's okay. You can hate all you want. Every single dislike that was on that video, that's an engagement. So you actually helped push me in the algorithm. So I thank you, fellow haters, for that. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm recording this in the manner that I'm recording it, is because I'm going to be traveling soon for a gaming event, and I'm bringing my custom setup with me, or rather I'm bringing just my laptop and a webcam and some mics. So this is sort of like a test run, and also because I want to speak my thoughts on Silent Hill 2, but this is a test run to see more or less like what it'll look like on the road, with some tweaks, because I'm going to be doing a lot more content on the road, which will be really fun. So we don't deserve this remake. We do deserve it, but we also don't, because you can't satisfy anyone. People are always going to have something to complain about. There will be those that are never satisfied, no matter how much effort, how much love is put into something. So with that said, let's take an opportunity to briefly speak about the trailer itself. I'm not going to watch it and react to it because we've all seen it already. If I pretended to give you a authentic reaction, it's disingenuous because I already saw it like 3 or 4 times already. So I'll just tell you what I think. These are my thoughts. Now, one of the things that stuck out to me was Maria's performance. First of all, I think she looks fine. People were saying that she was desexualized. I don't think that's the case at all. The only thing they did was not show her belly button, okay? Like, let's face it, because if you look at the outfit, she was fairly covered up on the top. She had that like Christina Aguilera outfit with that like Cameron Diaz look. She really only just covers her stomach. So I don't know how that's like desexualizing somebody. She still has like a fairly short skirt with like the high boots on. So, if her performance is what really matters, she never like pulled her tits out in front of James in the original. So, there was implied sexual tension, but they never actually went that level, and I don't think they're going to do that here either. So some people were saying that her delivery was a little flat, and I kind of agree with that. She definitely didn't sound the way that she did originally, but guess what? It's not the same actress. They're going to sound different. They're going to have their own portrayal. And you know what? When you look at it in context, when the actual scene fully plays out, you might see that it might make more sense. You know what I mean? Because she might sound flat based off of the small snippet that we got. But when we see the scene in its entirety, it might make more sense, Eddie, wow, that dude looked amazing. He looks so demented. He looks extremely sinister. They had those really like light blue eyes, which made him look even more evil because he's just this like really fat, overweight dude. And they really emphasize his fatness here, which I kind of like that they did that, because the original Eddie, he was like overweight, but he just looked like a big boy. He didn't really look like someone that would, like if he dressed better and he like took better care of himself, I don't think he would get made fun of as much. But here he just looks unlovable. And that's going to be a good thing. And I hope they really play on that. I think the voice actor did a phenomenal job in that trailer. I really do think that he's going to give a good performance, and hopefully we can expand more on his story, because we didn't really get much of Eddie in the original game. The focus was primarily on the ladies, Eddie kind of was just like lost in the shuffle, He had a couple of scenes, and that iconic like pizza scene, which Lord knows how Silent Hill manifested a pizza for him. But I hope that we get additional scenes with him. I want them to add more. I don't want just a carbon copy, which I'm kind of afraid that they're playing it a little too safe, just to like appease the fans. Yes, show us the original scenes, but add additional lore, add additional context to these scenes. I would love to see expansions on these scenes. But Eddie, I think, looks great. As far as Angela's concerned, I feel like they strategically did a good job of not really showing her face much in the trailer, because they got crapped on so heavy because of how she looked initially when they first showed her. But she looks fine. Everybody was saying that she's like overweight. Angela's not overweight. Like, all right, they made her face a little chunkier, but if you look at some of the other scenes, she looks normal. She looks like she has a normal face. You know what I mean? She's supposed to be like a depressed teenager, or I don't know if she's like 17 or 19. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Her delivery is also something that's in question, her inflections, the way she speaks. But I'll be really honest with you, none of the voice actors in the original sounded good, with the exception of Maria in that prison scene. She did a great job there. But if you look at the original deliveries, none of them really sounded great. Like, let's keep it real. It was extremely campy. So for y'all to say that they gave these extremely profound performances would just be disingenuous, and you know it's true. So let's see how they do. Hopefully we get some really good voice acting, some compelling voice acting, and I think that'll be great. Laura, we got a little more of her. I think she looks fine. She looks like a little girl, and her deliveries are really good as well. So hopefully they expand on her character a little more as well, instead of just having her be the little annoying girl that constantly is like your foil. Hopefully they do a little more with her as well. I'm hoping that they expand on all their stories. I would even love it. Now hear me out, audience. I would even love it if we get some DLC where you kind of get to play their own side stories, kind of like how you did with Maria from Born from a Wish. Maybe we can see Eddie in his blast chiller Silent Hill. We could see Angela and her fiery Silent Hill. I think that'd be really cool if they did something like that. Give us an hour DLC with maybe how they got to the town, or just some of the experiences that they were going through. I think expanding their stories would be a great opportunity, and you really can't complain about that because you're just being given more of something you already love. But the point of this video was just, for me, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I know this game's going to be good. At the very least, just because they're playing it safe and they're showing us scene for scene, shot for shot, the way the original was. If they just played it safe with just enhanced graphics and, a little bit of enhanced combat, then I think the game's going to be fine. If it's a 7 or an 8, I think the game will still be successful. You're still going to have people that are going to have artificial anger towards the game, which is not even real, because there's no logical reason for you to be upset at something that doesn't exist yet and you haven't played. You're not going to know how the game actually is until you play it, or until you watch a Let's Play or something like that. But yeah, we don't deserve it, but we're getting it, and I'm really happy about it. I will be purchasing it day one with my own money. I will be speaking with my wallet, and my wallet will purchase the video game. And I'm going to play it. I'll stream it. Let's see if I give it a little review, things of that nature. I'm trying to get into more gaming content to supplement, the podcast that I normally do. But with that said, I'm going to go because I have stuff to do. I just got back from the gym and I got to take a shower. I just wanted to give you all my thoughts. And yeah, if you feel that you've gotten any value from this video, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Do the damn thing and help your brother out. I've been Neostarling. You are all awesome. And don't ever let anyone tell you different. Signing off.